Has it ever happened where you can't remember people's names?
Yes. Yes.
Like, how do you overcome that? Like, you could just be introduced to this person, you're having a great conversation with this person, but you're like, oh no, I can't remember what's this person's name. And then someone comes along and you're like,
Okay, so yeah, especially when you've met a lot of people that night, it's quite hard sometimes.
right.
Um, two things that I would do. Oh dear, I'm putting out. If someone comes in and introduce, you just say, "Oh, Mary. We were just talking about something, whatever. This is my friend Mary." Then you just leave it as a blank, and you hope that this person will go, "Oh, hi Mary, I'm Peter."
Right.
You hope, right? Happens sometimes, doesn't always happen. The other thing is you can say, "Hey, I really need to get your
Number.
contact details."
Contact details.
Yeah. If you take a phone number, you can just say, "How do I spell your name?" Yeah, it's Peter. Right? So the best tool I found now is LinkedIn, especially in a professional context. It's great.
Right.
Like, hey, let's be connected on LinkedIn. What's your LinkedIn name?
Right.
How do I find you on LinkedIn?
Right.
Or you ask them to, there's different ways that you can elicit their name again. So these are two things that especially LinkedIn, is wonderful.
So if you're not in a professional context, I suppose you can say Instagram or
Instagram, yeah.
some other
Yes.
social media. But
Would.
Instagram doesn't really give you the name because,
Yeah.
we can come up with.
That's fine. Then you find their profile, but you'll see their name somewhere, right? If you don't see, you go, hey, your name isn't here. Something like that.
You're right.
Or sometimes you can say, hey, what do your friends call you?
Oh.
Peter.
Is it just rude if you just tell the person very honestly that I'm so sorry I forgot your name?
That's fine. It's fine because it's in the first conversation. It's fine. And that's what I resort to sometimes if I really can't. I'm like, Mary, no, Maribel. Maribel, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then make sure you remember it, right?
Yeah, I know. Because sometimes it's just, especially if it's not English names.
Yeah, that's a bit harder.
It can be hard to remember.
Yeah. So I think there's a little bit more of a leeway because people know that their names are a bit harder to remember. So when you kind of say, okay, it's leisure, and then they'll repeat it. I say, okay, I'm so sorry. Can you spell it? So then you find your own strategy to how to remember. So I need to see the name like visually, then I can remember it. Like if it's a name that I'm not familiar with,
Okay.
then I would spell it in my mind. I'm like, okay, and I repeat it a few times.
Wow. A lot of homework to do actually when you're at an event like that.
Yeah. It's not easy. It takes a lot of effort. And I had I read about Bill Clinton, the former US president, and how when he's at these events and he meets like thousands of people all the time and everyone wants to talk to him. So for him, it's not so much about the name. And I think people don't have that expectation that you will remember my name. But I'm told that sometimes he does. I think it was him or was it George Bush who remembers everybody's name. I think that's a phenomenal trait. But what Bill Clinton does is when he's speaking to you, he makes you feel like you are the most important person in the room. Just the way he looks at you, he's totally absorbed there. And I heard this anecdote from Gillian Anderson, who was the actress on X-Files. She said, all of us were there to meet, Bill Clinton. We're also excited. It was my turn. You speak to him for a while. And then it's time to move on to talk to the next person. And as he turns away, as he moves away, he'll turn around and give you that last look. And then he'll turn away. And it was just that last look that he gave us. She's like, oh, I was so sure he was going to message me that night. Well, I'm so sure. Of course he didn't. But I'm sure every woman felt that, oh, he's going to message me. So it's how you make them feel. So little things like if you didn't forget their name at the moment, it's fine. It's how you make them feel in that moment.